Going to learn the 10 biggest mistakes low elo players make that hold them back from climbing. My name's Hex and I'm a multi-season challenger player that's been teaching League of Legends here at SkillCapped for over 10 years. And if there's one thing I've learned in that time, it's that being good at League doesn't require you to master every single detail of the game or have crazy good mechanics. You can see big gains in your rank just by understanding a few simple concepts and fixing a couple of key mistakes that you don't even know you're making. My promise to you is that if you just focus on fixing one or two of the mistakes in this guide, that you will see significant rank gains. How do I know that? Well, taking low-ranked players and getting them results fast is kind of what we specialize in. Sound too familiar? You load up a game of League, realize the enemy laner is a complete bot. You start winning lane thinking to yourself, why am I even stuck in this rank? And 5 seconds later, the enemy jungler arrives for an easy kill, and now you're wondering why you never get junglers like that. Well, this is likely happening because you're on what's called the weak side. In League, wherever a jungler starts, they'll path towards the opposite side of the map. So, for example, let's say the enemy Kayn starts at his blue and your Nocturne starts at his blue. This means each jungler is pathing in the opposite direction. Your jungler is pathing away from you while the enemy jungler is pathing towards you. When this occurs, it means you're on the weak side, while the side your jungler is pathing to is called the strong side. The enemy jungler gets to path towards you with no threat of your jungler ever coming to counter gank, and so it's incredibly common to be ganked towards the end of their route. There's an easy solution to this though. Every game, watch the minimap once laning starts and pay attention to which side lane arrives to lane the latest. This will tell you they gave their jungler a leash and that he started on that side. Most high-level players memorize 315 to 345 in game. This is because 315 is when a jungler will be finished his full clear and can gank you prior to the 330 scuttle spawn, while 345 is when they'll have finished taking the nearby scuttle and either be recalling or moving to the other side of the map. However, let's be honest, we're not playing in high elo, so for this reason, I just recommend playing safe from 3 to 4 minutes. It's easier to memorize and accounts for the random and inefficiency of low elo.
Not a bad advice.
Still, that doesn't
Not a bad advice.
around being ganked. I mean, how many times have you heard this before? You need to get the push lead early on. Pushing is amazing. Pushing gets you lane priority. It pins the opponent. Getting push advantage translates to level spikes, all-ins, recall timings. So you're like, okay, I get it. I need to push. You load into the game, start pushing, and one of Riot's super balanced champions just runs you down and kills you like you're nothing. Or the jungler just swings on by to immediately punish you for overextending, probably on a weird timing you can't even predict. Well, the cause of this is usually one simple mistake. Most low elo players will be pushing, winning lane, and so feel safe enough to throw out one of their key abilities to try and land more damage. This is a trap. Don't do this. Instead, identify what the key ability your champion has that helps you disengage and survive, and then just hold on to that while you poke the enemy with your other abilities. So, for example, with Hui, this could be holding onto your fear while you poke with your other spells. That way, if you get ganked or the enemy tries to engage on you, it's as simple as fearing them and running away. Also, pro tip, time your crowd control when an enemy uses one of their engaged spells. They'll be locked into the animation and be unable to dodge it. I see players make this mistake all the time, like you're playing Ahri and you think, I have my ult, so I'll play super aggressive here looking to land a charm. Then you just end up overextending and having to use that ult to escape. Instead, just look to poke with your Q and hold your charm and even your W for the enemy tries to fight back or if you get ganked. That charm into your W movement speed boost will save you from having to use your ult. Every champion will max their one damage ability first, so in lane, usually the other basic abilities are pretty weak. It's often better to just use your main damage ability for poke and pushing, and then just hold on to the rest of them for disengaging, especially if you're pushed up or overextended. In general, low elo players don't realize how many tools they have available to escape ganks. It's not just about vision or map awareness. I see this one mistake all the time. Here, Aurelion Sol is getting ganked. Let's pause here. I want you to tell me, what is the one key to Aurelion Sol escaping this gank?
I don't know. Running this way.
It's simply running in the opposite direction of the enemy jungler.
Yes!
Instead, the Aurelion Sol makes the all too common mistake of thinking his only escape route is towards the safety of his tower. When you push up a lane, you have to realize that running towards your tower is rarely going to be a safe path. You often just run towards the jungler, making the gank easier. Here's a great example of Faker using this concept. He's pushed
Expert
up,
has
and
arrived.
the jungler looks to punish him by flashing on him. Again, most players would flash towards their tower, but that just end up being a mistake as they'd get run down their lane. Instead, try to think of the direction that's most opposite opposite of the enemy jungler. That's not the river in this case, but actually flashing into the enemy's jungle. This creates maximum separation, causes the enemy to lose vision, and stops any more damage. Now, don't get me wrong, this ends up working out in the end because Faker was aware his jungler was bot side, and his bot lane had lane priority so they could get to him first. However, still, the point is, when Vi first showed, how many of you thought flashing into the enemy's jungle was even an option? This one concept is key to pushing successfully. You have to be aware, you don't just have one escape path to your tower. Treat the entire opposite side of where the enemy jungler is ganking from as a viable escape route, and you'll start to realize why you've been dying so much. Now, I know, that still doesn't fully solve the problem. In some cases, it won't be enough to deal with some of the champions.
Yeah, I mean, this is not where we are lacking, right?
In retro.